know, several months ago we did, or maybe last year even, we did a little, I don't know, 2 or 3 part series on keeping Phoebe happy. And so we found those, and we want to put those on this new LM Barrel Racing YouTube channel. And today we're in the barn, and Jennifer is working on Hope, because this is what keeps Hope happy. It's a breathing treatment, and so it's really can help out in this, I mean, muggy, humid weather that we're having after all this rain. So we don't think about keeping our horses happy, but they run good barrels when they're happy, so let's keep them happy. Hey everybody, we're out here in the barn this morning, and we're just kind of wanted to go over some things. You know, at the clinics I say, well, there's 3 things that we really need to major on at a clinic. And of course the first thing is skill in the saddle. You know, that's kind of a given, isn't it? We all need skill in the saddle to be good riders and be good competitors. The other thing I say is that people need to think better. You need to think better than your opponent. You know, if you're on mentally the same field as he is, how can you ever rise above him mentally? And so then the last thing I say is to take better care of your horses. And so sometimes in that, people get that a little misconstrued as thinking, oh, well, it's about money, it's about hock injections, this, that, and the other. And that's not maybe some truth to that, but let's not start there. Let's do what we can that is, you know, not so much money. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is with Phoebe. You know, we've been hauling Phoebe to the futurities, and she's been very consistent. We've been very proud of her. Sometimes when you have these futurity colts, if they just really go to lighten it up, you know, lighten that arena up and running those really fast times, what I'm really looking for, because I'm thinking about Phoebe running barrels when she's 20 with maybe a 10-year-old or a 7-year-old or somebody like that. I'm not just thinking about the money, which is nice, but what I'm really wanting is to see those good, consistent runs come out. You know, let's first of all think about consistency. And so in that, with Phoebe, she is JL Dash to Heaven on the top. She's out of a Buggin' My Frosty mare, but on the bottom of that bottom bloodline in her dam is a breeding that we know that is a little funny about their face. And that shows up a little bit in her. And so she'll get to bouncing that face. She'll get to be carrying that, you know, little bounce in her face. And if you get too rattly with those hands, that'll make her bounce. If the bit gets too rattly, that makes her bounce. So just trying to think better and to take better care of her in the way of making her happy. We don't think about happy horses, do we? But nonetheless, this is one thing, just one thing that we have decided with Phoebe that we need to do to help her be happy in her face. And so we've gone to a miler, and it's called a flat shank miler with a 43 mouthpiece. It's been on the market for a really long time. It's not anything new. Because one thing about this bit that helps her also is it kind of helps her stay picked up. She wants to really drop over a little front endy at times, and we don't run her in this. We might talk about that competitive bit at a later time, but just in the barn, in the warm-up pen, keeping her happy, the miler flat shank with the 43 mouthpiece, but we've also tied the curb chain to the bit so that there's not a hook or a little screw down thing there that rattles and bounces and causes her distraction. And we're also, we ride her in split range during the week and in the warm-up pen, so take the snaps off the reins, and just because they are a big bouncing factor a lot of times, and so we try to, with a bit that kind of holds her up, not much movement in the bit, not any movement really in the bit as far as the shank. Now it does rotate in this bar, but everything that really keeps her happy. And if you talk to the miler people, what they say about this mouthpiece and this little part of this bit is that you have to touch their tongue if you want to get those back feet up under them. So a lot of bits go to the bar, to the roof of the mouth like a snaffle, but to really get that front end picked up and get those back feet up under them, you need to touch that tongue in some way. So as this bit is coming, see, it's going to rub across that tongue a little bit, and perhaps a little bit in the roof of the mouth to pull that face a little more vertical. If you're wanting to pick them up off the front end, pick that up a little more vertical, get them back away from the bit, rub that tongue to really get that back end up under them, so to speak, and to not have just a lot of things in the bit that move too much, make noise, make vibrations in and around that mouth. So that's just one way that we are working to keep Phoebe happy. You know, another thing I found out about Phoebe is she's a good drinker, but when she drinks, she likes a clean bucket, clean water. And so, you know, we've been talking about our horses being well taken care of and happy and really wanting to please us and do for us. And so this is another thing, a very easy, simple thing, but I know that she, especially after her breakfast, this girl likes a big fresh bucket of water, and she'll just nearly take it down to like 3/4, where it's just like 1/4 full. So she likes her water, and so I work here in the barn trying to keep her to have good water. And another thing that she likes is when she eats her breakfast, she likes to have some amount of hay. It doesn't have to be a lot of hay. It doesn't have to, you know, interfere with me riding her right after breakfast, but if I'll put her breakfast in there and put her hay in there, let her have some of that before I saddle her up in the mornings, then she gets really happy. She's a happy camper, and she goes up there happy for some reason. I mean, you know, we're just really talking about, you know, skill in the saddle is great, but there's so much more that goes with that part of it. So we have to really realize that we want to make them happy, you know, here in the barn. I'd really hate to ever think that if my horse left me in any way and could really talk about their experience with me, that they would say, I never really enjoyed being there. They did nothing that I enjoyed, you know. So here, maybe I am having all the fun and in the enjoyment of her, but she's not having any fun and enjoyment of me, even down here in the barn area. So I really like happy horses. I like to think that there's something going on here that my horses are really pleased with, because we want to be good owners, and good owners will have good horses and be good competitors. Well, thanks for watching. We're going to try to do more little segments on keeping your horses happy. I feel like it's really important. Listen, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and you see that little bell that's down there? Ring that bell, friend, because I will send notifications your way of when we put new videos on our very brand new LM Barrel Racing YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.